good. Okay. Good evening, members of the media. I'm joined here with Chief Griffin from our Force Investigations Division, Deputy Commissioner Operations Kaz Daughtry, and the Commanding Officer of Patrol Bureau Brooklyn North, Chief Henderson. This is initial details from a member-involved shooting this afternoon. The details that I'm providing you with are subject to change. Today's date, at approximately 2:57 in the afternoon, there was a shot spotter activation in the confines of the 88th Precinct in proximity of 81 North Portland, which is the Whitman houses. Members from the 84th Precinct Field Intelligence Team, as well as members from the 88th Precinct, responded to that location to conduct the investigation about the shots being fired. While they were there conducting an investigation, they were met with a witness who gave them a description of a vehicle and stated there was an out-of-state plate on the back of the vehicle and was hanging by one screw. A short time later, members from the precinct observed the vehicle at Fulton Street and Washington Avenue. At this point, they started pursuing the vehicle eastbound on Fulton Street. The members who were following were asking for more members to respond to help stop the vehicle safely. At some point, the vehicle becomes aware that they're being followed by members of the service, and they start speeding up. They start cutting through blocks, through Bed-Stuy. They're running red lights. Our officers are closely pursuing. Eventually, they end up on Utica Avenue, going southbound, and in front of 178 Utica Avenue, which is just north of Park Place. The officers are able to stop the car. The vehicle gets caught in traffic. Officers are able to get in front of the vehicle, in the back of the vehicle, and stop the vehicle. The officers who were behind the vehicle, they exited the vehicle with their guns drawn and started giving commands for the occupants to show their hands. At this time, they realized that there's a driver, there's someone in the passenger seat. The person on the passenger seat tries to exit the vehicle, but they couldn't open the door all the way because of a double parked vehicle. But that person did have a gun in his hand, and he pointed at our officers. At this point, our officers started firing. They're giving commands to drop the weapon, to show their hands. In the driver's side, there was a female driver. She exited the vehicle and started to run. At a certain point, while our officers were engaged, one of our officers started yelling, "Baby, baby," and to tell the officers to stop firing. At this point, one of the officers jumped in the vehicle. They remove a young child in the back of the car. The female who was driving was apprehended after a short foot pursuit, and the driver of the vehicle who was shot was pulled from the vehicle. The officers handcuffed the person. They started performing life safety measures, and they recovered a semi-automatic weapon, as you see here, that Chief Griffin is holding, with an extended clip. All the people who were involved, all the officers, they were all removed to a local hospital. At this point, the male succumbed to his injuries. As part of this investigation, the male, who I will not identify at this time because we're still making notification, but we become aware that this male is someone who's wanted for a homicide that occurred back in March of 2024 in the confines of the 75th Precinct, a particularly vicious homicide that I had the opportunity to observe on camera. He's been wanted and he's been on the run since March, and he was apprehended today by members of the 84th Precinct. The baby was removed to the hospital. The baby was safe. The female driver was moved to the hospital. She had 2 gunshot wounds to the right thigh, and the male who had the firearm, who pointed it at the officers, sustained multiple gunshot wounds. None of the officers were hit by gunfire. I'll take any questions at this time.
All right. Terry Burke?
Yeah, Terry Burke.
Hey, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Did you get a shot off?
That we don't know. I had an opportunity to personally observe the body cameras. The men and women of this department are extremely brave, and tonight we were extremely lucky because they were very close range, and that gun was definitely pointed at the officer. But as part of FID's investigation, they'll determine whether the shot was fired or not.
All right, we're going to move over to Louis Finley.
How many shots were fired by the officer?
We're still counting, but I would say in the range of about 18 to 19 shots were fired by members of the service. But again, force investigations is still conducting and counting the rounds.
Mac Rosenberg, 1010.
Hey, Chief.
Yes, how are you?
An eyewitness at the scene said he saw an officer put a knee on this man's back when he took him out of the car. Is there any...
That I can't answer. That'll be part of the investigation. I saw them pull the man out. I saw them roll the man over and put him in handcuffs and start life-saving measures. I don't recall seeing a knee put onto the man, but we will review the camera again.
Checky, NBC.
As far as how it all broke down, when the officers noticed the child in the car, did shots stop immediately?
Not immediately, and again, I have to review the camera, but the officers started yelling, "Baby, baby," and the officer who was yelling was trying to take control of the scene to tell officers to alert the other officers that there was a baby in the vehicle to slow down.
Acosta.
How many rounds did the suspect fire?
We don't know at this time. It's still an active crime scene. But like I said, I observed body camera. He definitely pointed the gun at our officers.
I'm going to take one more question. John Doyle.
Chief, the female was shot. Was the female shot by police, they believe?
Again, it's under investigation by FID, but just based on what I saw, I would say yes, that our officers did fire. But again, this is the initial investigation. It's only a couple hours old. Other things will unfold.
This will be our last question. Sonia Rincon, ABC.
Was the female driver shot in the vehicle before she started to run?
I can't tell you at that point. Like I said, I did see the video. I did see her exit the vehicle, but I wasn't able to discern at what point she was shot.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for your time and attention. Thank you.
Was anybody taking the original scene? Was anybody taking the original scene?